Hey guys, so let's take a little bit and introduce you to this 1964 Scout 80 made by International. Let me pop the cover off here and we'll see if we can get her to do a cold start. Hasn't ran in about a week and a half, so let's see what we can do here. And it is currently raining and I do not have a tripod, so I apologize for any shakiness and or anything else that happens with the video. So let's get this cover off and see if she'll start. All right, so under the hood on this thing is a slant 4-cylinder International, original to the car. This thing weighs 3,900 pounds there. There's the data plate on it. Pretty worn out. I believe it's a 64 according to the title. And I haven't really confirmed that at all, but when I got this, I might show a couple pictures. There was a giant rat's nest right here. They chewed all through the plug wires. They've chewed through some of the main wiring here. I haven't plugged this part in because this is for the headlights and non-important things at the moment, according to the book I bought for it. And rebuilt the carburetor, had a pretty bad flooding issue. Had to put on this fuel filter, and it's running off of this 90s Craftsman gas tank. Had to get a new radiator cap. It did have it still had coolant in it. It's only been off the road about 4 years, but even then it was pretty shady of being on the road. So it has no tubes. I haven't really done much to it besides, well, getting it running by itself. Picked up a new battery, and we'll see if we'll give her a crank here and see if she starts for us, guys. So the reason I'm making this video is mainly because I like watching the older cars come back to life, and I figured I'd contribute a little bit to the YouTube here. So let's go around and see if she'll start for us here. Interior is not the best. I mean, you still have a floor. The seat's covered in rat turds. I got the towel on it. It's filled with my junk because I'm moving. And it's got the hard top, the travel top, I believe it's called. So, let's sit in here. You got 3 sticks. You got a 3-speed on the floor. You got your big gaping hole where the stereo was. I do have this cover here. I just took it off to see what the wiring was doing back there, because there was a little bit of rat's nest in here. But luckily they didn't touch anything back there. The vent still works. The wipers still work. Turn signals work. The horn does not work. I have the cover for it. It's right there. All right, so pardon me while I'm doing this one-handed. You got the right ignition over here. Make sure our blinkers are off. Turn off. There. All right, make sure we're out of gear. Pull our choke here. All right, so let's crank her here and see if she'll. Oh yeah? So that's usually how easy it starts. It starts right up, so once it's warmed up, it doesn't have a problem starting either. So you got your high beams on the ground here. You know, clutch, brake, gas. The clutch is barely there, but it's there. I still have to bleed it along with working on other things on this thing. The main issue I have is I just don't have the time or the space right now to work on it. So we'll let this warm up a bit, and then we'll bring you guys back here. How's that sound?
It's warmed up pretty quietly, I think.
probably got another like 10 minutes before it's really warmed up. But this is just off choke and it's just running by itself. So, I mean, overall, a good little motor for this thing. And I know they like these because of the high torque value. And I don't plan on replacing this thing anytime soon. I just like keeping stuff original. I know a few upgrades, probably like an electronic point system. It's got the original points in it. And probably some other upgrades. I did have to put a new coil on it right there. But this is how she'll run all the day. Just sit here and idle. The main reason I haven't plumbed in the actual gas tank is because I just haven't had time to clean it out. It's up underneath the fender right here. I have taken the panel off and looked at it, and it's actually in pretty nice shape. There's no internal rusting of the tank itself. I did want to take it out and just clean it just to make sure for no hiccups down the road, you know, but some of the bolts are pretty rusted, and I just don't feel like laying down in the wet and taking the thing out. Plus the rubber neck that goes from this tank cap down to the tank itself is rubber, and that's rotted away. So I don't have can't really spend the money right now to replace it. But overall, it's fairly straight. It's definitely been a farm vehicle. I don't really know the backstory of it. The the gasket material on the doors are all pretty much shot. The doors don't close straight. I mean, you got the floor all Flintstone there. The windows do roll up and down. And the temperature gauge and the speedometer work. The fuel gauge, I don't really know the status of it. I know, so I said this tank is good. I haven't really looked in the passenger side tank because there was a bunch of dirt in the fill line, in the fill tube, and those bolts are pretty gone. And I wasn't able to get that access panel off of the fender well there. It's got a gun rack on the window there. The only real rust is in on the floor, and I believe there's some on the quarter panel right there. That's shot out. But that works. The heater works. It's got a little bit of jury rigging from previous owners. I found that. That's just sitting there right now. It doesn't go nowhere. The horn doesn't work, but I was able to take it off and put it on a battery charger and kind of tap it, and it honks just fine. So why don't I close the hood here and we can move it forward like a couple feet for you guys here. How's that sound? Here's the back end shot of it. Got the spare tire on there. Kind of an interesting way how the back end kind of all goes together. It is missing the straps that hook to the tailgate here. The back end, although it's filled with my stuff in the lathe, it's pretty solid. It has a couple little rust patches here and there, but not like the passenger side floor there. That's probably the worst on this thing. So let's start her up and get her to move a little bit for us. I got my e-brake right here. Nice, huh? All right. Let's start her up. Make sure we got some brakes here. Yeah, we got some brakes. Pump our clutch a little bit. All right. Come on, baby. view is not the best. All the systems work in theory, but I do not trust them to go on the road at all. The brakes, although they have been redone, gotta get my brake here in here. They were redone about 4 years ago, just like everything was, but I just want to make sure before I do anything really. So I'll leave it in gear so we don't go nowhere. But it does have the bench seat. Got the bench seat, got the passenger seat. Passenger seat is in way better condition than driver's seat. It's got issues, but the foam is okay. I do have the tow hitch for it, and other than that, I mean, the roof isn't okay. It's okay. It's got a little bit of spotting here and there. There's the gun rack right there, and then a place for your fire extinguisher. Probably get one of those before we start working on it. But that is the introduction here to this 64 Scout 80. And no, it is not for sale. I will be working on it here in the coming months when I get a place. And if you guys would like, I can take you along and wrench on it together. But the good half of the battle's over, just getting it running. But making it reliable and safe is what matters. Because it's hard to stop 3,900 pounds of steel, which is what this thing is, with 4 drum brakes. And I do know they make a conversion kit for disc in the front, and it's got the hubs, the Warren hubs. Oh no, those are international hubs. And I do know that these lugs are left-handed. Those are left-handed lug nuts. So anyway, here's a shot of the badge. Maybe we can get that to be our main picture here. All-wheel drive. Alright guys, so that'll be it for me. I'm tired of getting wet, and I hope you enjoyed this little video. Please give it a like and subscribe for more in the upcoming months. And as always guys, have a great beginning of your 2019. We'll see you later.